Alrighty, the stream is on, starting at 9:16 p.m. Late as usual, you know the deal. This is not Feedback Friday, this is Masterclass Monday, number 3. For whatever. Okay. Join the Discord and post in the Masterclass channel to sign up. Okay, fellas. Welcome to the freaking stream. About to call the boy. The one, the only, the boy. Ignore that. Okay. Okay. Calling. Scary noises. Is my audio working? I can be heard. I don't think I can hear myself. Hello? Okay, yeah, it's working. Let me change my mic thing and get this thing downloaded.
What's up, dude?
Oh my gosh, hello. For whatever reason, I'm not having like Discord sounds, so you surprised me there.
Oh, my bad.
Talk about scary noises.
Yeah, no shit. That was a good one.
Thanks. I try to stay on top of these things.
Never a dull moment.
Absolutely. Downloading your file, opening it. Sorry, I didn't get to you, but you figured it out.
Oh, you're good, dude. I was like, I answered my own question as I was typing it. I was like, God damn it.
No. It happens. What do I think about the RTX 3000 series? I don't know if I'm the guy to be asking that to Plixo in chat. So, I mean, I've heard it's cool. Thank you.
Wait, what?
So some guy just asked in chat, what do you think about RTX 3000 series? And I'm not the guy to ask that. Okay, pop out chat. Downloading the file. Damn, this boy
Oh,
beefy.
dude, something's going on with your mic, I think.
Yeah,
I don't know if
is it the crackling or is it like disconnecting a bunch or both?
It's disconnecting a bunch.
Yeah, I'm having a little.
It's
I just switched
disconnecting
mics. I just switched mics, and for whatever reason, my Wi-Fi keeps cutting out. It's okay. We manage out here. We're roughing it.
It's all good. You got it.
Okay.
Getting it figured out.
Oh no.
The crackling sounds kind of better.
Yeah, because I just switched it to whatever. But it's because I'm downloading the file and I'm on Discord and I'm streaming. It's really a killer combination. But anyways,
that's really good.
But anyways, what is up, man? What do you want to work on today?
Anything really, dude. If you want to help me with the mix.
Okay. So I guess mix will be the main focus since that's what you said. I'm jumping on it.
That's really, I guess, kind of my main struggle when it comes to like, because I start with drums and then I'll just layer synths on top of it. And then as I start sidechaining and EQing, somewhere in the mix, I lose it. Like I lose all my volume and everything. So I throw a master rack on it. And obviously that's a terrible competition.
Yeah.
But.
Well, part of it, you can't let like the loudness of it deceive you, you know? And
yeah, that's true.
I don't know. I usually just turn up my volume hella loud. but not through my interface more than my like any processing I have, you know. But
Yeah.
that's the first thing that comes to mind in terms of you can't get confused by the loudness. But beyond that, like I mentioned the other day, like I don't think you were using much of the like glue compressor on your stuff, you know, because
Mm-hmm.
when I was suggesting you just throw it on there and add some markup or whatnot, you were not familiar. So that's one thing. It's just an easy way to boost the volume without like doing anything crazy. Okay, so I'm gonna just play through this track. Mic check, check 1 2, everything's working. Oh yeah,
That sounds good.
I gotta add everyone in the Discord real quick.
Dude, is there a way to listen to this and can I mute Discord and watch you through the stream? It's gonna be lagged though, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Well, yeah, it will be lagged, but
She.
I don't know. I tried sharing screens another time, but my computer cannot handle it.
Oh, no worries.
Masterclass Monday is live. The Discord's really growing. Has like
Oh yeah, dude, it's gonna take off.
100 plus people in it now. It was at 40 like last week or something. Okay, but anyways, your boy Scary Noises making some high fidelity bass music here. Let's play this track.
Appreciate it.
See what's going on. Oh, sorry. Got ahead of ourselves. I'm a fool because it wasn't on the right audio setting, so the stream heard nothing. Heard none of that phenomenal build-up. I do like what you added though, because you add like the bass hits in the beginning, the bass hits kind of things, and of course the hi-hats. Now we're playing it for real. Oh wait, sorry. Say what you were gonna say.
Oh no, I was gonna say the hi-hats really helped.
For sure. Adds a little rhythmic.
Don't be afraid. Freaking awesome track. You're crack, dude, to say the least. But
oh, dude, appreciate it.
But yeah, I think your mix sounds pretty good. You know, the only thing that really stands out to me is the drums in some parts. Well, I mean, generally across the board, I think they aren't punching as well as they could. First of all,
I agree.
I'm gonna check the side chain, and what I see in the side chain is that you're using Ableton's compressor, which works, but it's kind of hard to tweak it and get it just right. Sounds pretty good right now, but if you take something like LFO Tool, which is what I use, and but here's the problem though, is that you have to have a MIDI track, right? So for LFO Tool or Shaper Box, you have the ability to send MIDI to it, right? To
and have the signal.
trigger your volume automation, right? It's just way easier to shape it around and get it exactly how you want it compared to this sidechain. And I'm not... See, I don't think it's completely ducking all the way down.
I don't think so. And I think that's what's muddying the mix so much.
Yeah, and in this style of music, like for sure, you can just cut everything. I wonder how one would. Okay, that's not how one would boost the signal so it does cut all the way. But if anyone knows how, say it in the chat.
I thought it's your gain, like the
pre-gain
gain on the side chain, yeah, but it's
still not enough.
Turned all the way up. Yeah.
Yeah. Then I'm not really threshold maybe. Oh, but that also compresses the signal. Okay, no, that works. Okay, so to get a deeper sidechain, you could do the threshold, but you see now it's ducking a little heavily. Well, more than a little heavily, right? So for that, I think the release would be the move. Switching the attack on release. But you see, I'm not a compressor expert. I'm used to using LFO Tool. Oh, but also, I'm a fool because LFO Tool was also on at the same time.
I didn't know that.
But that seems to be much... Let's actually duplicate our thing, right? So this is the default, what it was at before. And then I'm going to duplicate it and change the settings to what we did. So threshold down pretty much. Right? Much more dramatic. Just like lowering the threshold so it cuts it off completely and messing with the attack and stuff. Because it's either you do this, really. I mean, it depends on the style of music, of course, but in this style, just cut everything. But it's either you do this in that you just compress the whole thing, or you can go like fancy, like single band sidechain, you know, like just the lows for your snare. I mean, just the lows for your kick, just the mid highs for your snare, and all that kind of jazz. But yeah, so sidechain is the first thing. Already sounds much cleaner, I think.
I can't hear it.
You can't hear it. But yeah, because you muted the stream because I'm echoing.
Yeah.
But I guess you could.
But I trust. I'm gonna take your word for it.
Okay.
I'm gonna take your word for it.
Okay.
But what were you saying about being able to sidechain different compressions or different frequencies?
Oh, so there's some plugins with the ability to pretty much like duck certain frequencies with an EQ or like a multi-band compressor, right? And
that would be...
yeah, but pretty much that would work well for your kick because like you just cut out the lows for your kick, and for your snare you cut out like the mid highs or whatnot.
Yeah.
And all that jazz. Even sidechain your hi-hats to the highs or something if you're feeling crazy. But
just go crazy.
Yeah, I'm not too familiar with that kind of stuff. Well, for one, because I don't have a program that does that. There may be a way to do it in Ableton, like, but as far as I know, I don't know. But my general approach to this is I just slap an LFO tool on and duck it.
What LFO tool are you using?
Just the LFO tool.
Oh,
and
sure.
I'm making from Xfer, your boy's Xfer. And to make a MIDI track that would trigger this, what I'm doing is I'm gonna take all your kicks and consolidate them. I'm snatching them. Consolidate. Control J. Shaperbox does the multi-band sidechaining really well. I'm reading chat. I would definitely recommend like actually hearing the stream, because I feel like you're kind of just like sitting in a dark room right now, just hearing.
No, dude, that's exactly what.
Like like he might be talking about something.
Trying to catch up to the stream, like to your voice.
No, but like I guess just like watch what I do, and then like if you have any kind of questions or new suggestions or whatever, do that. I mean, that's kind of how the other people on stream have been doing it, and it's worked reasonably well. So
all right, we'll do that.
So I am taking these kicks and making a MIDI. What that wasn't. Oh, okay. Convert. What's the way to do this? Why is it doing that? Why is it? Okay, I'm gonna add just like a placeholder, because for whatever reason it's like converting it to audio. Wait, stop. Okay, drums. So we're getting our MIDI track just so I can demonstrate the stuff, and also I'm gonna reach out real quick. Right click, make MIDI track. Yeah. Angel S asks, how can I have some classes with you? You can join the Discord in the description and just like say hi in the Masterclass channel, and I'll probably pick you or someone else, because there's a few people that offer. But you can also get private lessons with me if you want to email me, which is also in the description. So yes, so amazing. We have our MIDI. We are just thriving out here. It's amazing, the power of MIDI. But with this power of MIDI, right, we can just say goodbye to this thing. We can add external instrument, which can be used to route. So we have our LFO tool here. I mean, this doesn't work if you don't have LFO tool, obviously. So this is not catering to the widest possible audience. I'm so sorry, but this is how I do it. So now you know how I do it. So you got to double click this thing, note retrig. This pretty much makes it so it says it for MIDI notes to make the LFO restart, and you can have it on just like it would keep looping, but the MIDI would restart it, or you can just have it in an envelope so it only hits when the MIDI hits. So we want that. And then we need to route this to that channel. So it's in the lead channel. Now our audio ducks. And we can shape it beautifully. Awesome stuff. Now we have that clean LFO tool sidechain. Now onto some other type of stuff. One thing I noticed in the beginning, this is just preference, but it's actually being low pass too. But even then, I think the snare is a little dull, as in it's not kind of bright enough.
Yeah. I mean, take that low pass off, or high pass it.
Yeah. But even then, just in general, like I think I like what you're doing with the low pass for the movement, but like even this first hit here, like, just sounds a little dull to me.
Mm-hmm.
I like my snare with some nice high end. Mm-hmm. Also, I think these hi-hats could maybe be a little louder, because they're barely audible for me. Yeah, and definitely just in the drop as well, just have louder hi-hats. It's all subjective, really, but I say that so much, so. But anyway.
I think I kind of put those in there just to fill it up.
The hi-hats.
Normally I don't use hi-hats. I don't know
Really?
what it is about them.
But I'm guessing that's why you have them so quiet too. You fear their power.
I do fear the power of the hi-hat, yeah.
No, but like I understand hi-hats are kind of overplayed at times, like especially when like every song you hear on the radio just has like or whatever. my ASMR just like rattling hi-hats. But I mean they're in there for a reason, and that's like they're super easy to mix in just because they hit so high is one thing. But beyond that, the main thing is they just add some nice groove, you know?
Yeah.
Because love 'em or hate 'em, this rhythmic effect they add just does a lot for the groove. Like, especially in more minimal tracks, like let's say, for example, you just had like a bass hit, you know, you just like, I don't know, like a hybrid trap style bass hit, just super sustained kind of bass thing. And without the hi-hats, it would just be like, but with the hi-hats, it's, you know? That's silly, but you know what I mean. It just adds some groove, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And Steady Bop in the chat is saying, needs a high, tight top snare layer. Kind of concur. This... I mean, it already sounds pretty bright to me. I think it's kind of like, it's kind of getting overwhelmed in the mix, though.
Yeah, see, that's the problem. That's why I'm like something happens in the process where certain elements get lost. I cannot figure it out, dude.
Huh.
I'll lose layers on basses. I'll lose snares, claps.
Part of it, I should probably get rid of this duplicated kick. And that sounds better to me already. Just not having that duplicated kick that I introduced. Yeah, it definitely sounds slightly duller though. One thing is, so like with this kick, you might be able to get away with kind of cutting the highs a bit in here. Well, because
I try to do that, and then it on a speaker playthrough on monitors, it like, I don't know, something about it sounded like it was just
too dull.
I don't know. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I know what you mean. But so also in terms of that, I mean, it's a sacrifice, right? But one that will have to be made for the sake of the mix, and that is you would just end up ducking elements that are competing. So it seems that this is the main kind of thing hitting. So I'm gonna unfreeze this, right? And pretty much I'm just gonna say, so the snare is hitting right up here. Let's go back to the snare and figure out like really where is important. Definitely down there. But also why I want to know why you cut out this like what is it? The fundamental for the snare. You know, the low end.
Oh, why did I cut it?
Yeah. Just leaving the
probably to make it louder. I probably went back and adjusted it just to make it louder. I don't know.
I don't know if it makes it louder per se. You know, in fact, I think it'd be louder to have your fundamentals still in. Right? That's just my thing. But the thing is, I think the fundamental is pretty important for a snare, you know. And if you just want white noise kind of hit, JH, I'm going over mixing. If you want kind of a white noise hit, you know, I would recommend probably having just a clap instead. Because at this point, this is basically a clap, you know, with the EQ you have.
Yeah.
And I mean, you can really use a snare as a clap if you want. But since it's a snare, I would probably want to keep in the fundamental. The tonality sounds kind of weird. Well, at least compared to what I was used to hearing.
Yeah, so now I remember why I cut out.
Yeah. But another thing you could do,
I did make it more into a clap.
You see, if you tune it though, even though this isn't the best way to tune it. See, I think it would be better just to get another snare that's like at a different fundamental. So let me go to my Bunting drum kit with snare. No.
Not a plug.
Why is it hitting like this? Oh, because of the EQ. You see, because I pretty much, well, luckily for me, now it's hitting more on key, right? And yeah, well, to reiterate, if you want a kind of white noisy thing, right, just use a clap. And if the fundamental isn't hitting right, it's better to tune it than cut it out. You know,
okay.
And if tuning it doesn't make it slap right, then I definitely recommend just finding another snare. The other thing, I don't know how much I like this snare.
Dude, the samples were, yeah, I didn't spend very much time at all picking any samples. I should probably go back through it. I think the drum,
Yeah,
I think the kick
selection,
is even.
Yeah, the kick is all right. Not my favorite kick.
And it's cut too. I think it's
not my favorite kick, but I think it's good. Yeah. So sample selection is definitely the first thing that you can get down to like just make your shit pop, you know, beyond like processing your stuff hella. Because the thing is like, why polish a turd when you could start off with that beautiful immaculate diamond that are my samples. But one thing you can do if you really want to is to make those pretty much any drums pop is just a drum bus.
I think there's one on the return track.
Oh, there is. Oh, return track. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. See, I don't use return tracks too much, but yeah, you get the idea.
Yeah.
Without it. Also, you definitely want the damp all the way up, because when the damp is down, it's literally just like low passing your shit.
I did not know that.
So watch out for the damp. In fact, like damp kind of sucks. Like there's very few times where I've ever needed to use it. You know, it's whack. Another thing is sometimes you get some weird like kind of artifact when you have this boom section over here. This like boom section having any like 100% decay. I don't know. It's not. You can't quite hear it. Here, I just turned up the boom so you could. But when I'm messing with some kind of sounds, it ends up happening. Shameless plug.
That's weird. I've never messed with that.
Yeah. I can't really hear it on these sounds, but sometimes I do. But basically just turn the decay down. Also, of course, you have all these other parameters if you wish. I think crunch sounds kind of nice on the snare. Bit of crunch. Maybe not too much drive, but the thing is like then it will also mess with your kicks and stuff. I think it sounds yeah. And of course you have like the transient that just like make the boy punch. Can be nice. And all that jazz. And if it's too much, then you can just, you know, change the dry wet, or if you want more, duplicate it, you know. Now it's just terrible, you know. But in addition to drum bus, you can add some compression, you know. Ableton's kind of default stuff is pretty nice, like the default presets, you know, like what is it, like full parallel. This is one I have on my drums. Not too noticeable, but just adds a tinge of punch. Another preset I really like that Ableton has is bass punch. It's just like very punchy default preset, and it's sick. It's in fact it's healthy for your drums, I would say. See, you gotta use good language. High vibrational shit. We on it. Whatever they say. Okay. Are you what are you doing? Are you like watching my stream, or are you just listening to me still?
No, I'm watching.
Okay.
I'm watching you. I just have it muted so I can listen to you and not be listening to it too.
But yeah, back to our samples, because sample selection is what's up. But actually, thanks to this amazing trick that Steady Bop, I believe, introduced us to, we can go into View, File Manager, right?
Oh yeah, the hotspot.
And we can go. I think that was the snare. That was the snare. Yeah, that was the right snare. This current set, manage set, view files. Okay. This track's healthy as fuck. Yeah, I agree. So we're in the file manager, right? Navigating, and I'm gonna find the antidote file. This is nothing crazy, but it's mixing, guys. All right, what do you expect? Okay, and we just dragged it and replaced it. Now we have antidote is out, bunting is in. Such is the cycle of nature. Like, that already makes a huge difference for the snare. You know, it's just a matter of sample selection is what solved that end of the mix. So for the next part, as I continue to plug shamelessly, I'm just gonna be well, I think this, I don't know, there's not a whole lot wrong with this kick, I would say. You know, I might want a kind of different transient in a way. This is more like a preference. I don't think this is really giving it an issue in the mix per se, but it's more just like preference
of. It doesn't push through. I will say something about the transients of that kick. It doesn't really push through monitors. Bucket will headphones, which I don't know. It's just a sample, but I'll swap it out.
I'm gonna swap it out with my kicks that needs to be decibel boosted before fully releasing. Picking which kick, you know the deal.
The struggle.
Okay, I think this one kind of matches the character in a way, so we'll see how this one plays out in the mix. Find the glork. I don't really like what this drum bus does to the transient of this kick, though. It's my quip. But I think what I will do is just put on the full parallel preset for a similar but more subtle effect onto this group. See, I'm not sure how much better that is, but hey, yeah, I'm demonstrating here, all right?
Yeah, no.
another thing you can do generally, if you're still not happy with like how your drums are punching through your mix, the sidechain is the first thing, sample selection is the next, and of course drum bus and compression and all that jazz. But EQ, right? So we have this fatty fundamental here. So what we can do is, I mean, you could boost it here, right? If you're thinking like, all right, louder, prouder, but it kind of ruins the balance of the snare in a way, and also it doesn't really solve your problem. In fact, it just like adds more stuff to what's already there. But what you can do is, so where the fundamental is, you decrease it, right? Decrease the gain there. Then you put it on your competing device, right? Except the thing is, this track doesn't even have any in that range, so we're solid. But hypothetically speaking, okay.
My EQs are ridiculously heavy, and I probably should lighten up on my EQing.
Right. I mean, I think it kind of fits for this sound, you know, because it keeps the kind of metallic-y character,
Yeah.
right, without these mids, which I don't think are really adding to the sound. In fact, they're taking away from it. Okay. Just seeing what you have on here. Yes. Okay. So where else in the mix do you think stuff isn't shining as it should? Because it sounds pretty reasonable as of now.
And it may just be because I'm mixing on cans, like on headphones, but whenever I play this on speakers, it's like, for some reason, the sub is so quiet. It definitely doesn't sound hollow, so the sub's there, but it's just so quiet.
Yeah.
And I don't know if like, sometimes I'll do what I did with the drums and just send it to a return track because I feel like it gives it more space to breathe.
Yeah.
But sometimes then it'll quiet down my leads, and then if I try to bring the leads back up, it'll start clipping, and I'm like, okay.
So the sub, the elusive sub. So
yeah,
I mean, like, it depends on the speakers you have, but no matter what speakers, what will be solid is to pretty much manually draw in some harmonics, you know, some higher end harmonics, which I don't think you're using now. You are not, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, so the reason saturation sounds good on sub is because that's what it's doing. It's adding some higher harmonics. But when you just do it with synthesis alone, it gives you a lot more control over it, right? And those higher harmonics, they just kind of punch up. They just beef it up, you know. I know it's especially like, for example, I'm like mixing on my monitors or whatever. I just have like a normal fundamental bass wave, and it's like, all right, it's not knocking. But then I add this harmonic here, which I'll demonstrate how. Just removing this saturator and removing this EQ just so nothing's interfering. Literally just go into the additive synthesis and draw on your second, third harmonic. See, this is pretty much an octave above.
Oh, whoa, what?
Yep. And that makes it way fatter, both in headphones and especially on a monitor. You know, just huge. And yeah, that's the way to do it.
Damn, dude, you just hit me with some knowledge. That made a huge difference.
You can hear it right away.
Yeah.
So awesome. Another way, well, like I said, is saturation, right? But what I like for this is sinoid fold, because it doesn't like distort it more so than it adds kind of harmonic, so it has a very similar effect, right? Okay. But yeah, the best way would probably just be to draw it in yourself, because you can get full custom, and when it's on monitors you can literally like just tweak it to your liking, and you'll notice there's a sweet spot. You know, like you add too much second harmonic, it sounds thinner. Add too little, it's not beefy, but just in the right range, like that shit will shake your room. For real.
Damn, I did not know that.
Yes, that's the move for subs. That second and third harmonic, that's it. That's just it, straight up. But one thing that might need to be done is it needs to be boosted a bit, because this soft sine was giving it like 5 decibels, so I'll just give it like 5 decibels with this or whatever. Hello, Dominic. Okay. Also, feel free to just like add a little bass compressor. Never hurt anyone. And just checking the master here, right, the spectrum, to see it's punching about at 6, right, which is where you want it. So I'm going to return these to default because I want to see more of the mix. Okay, so another thing is, for your mix to be punching, for it to be bussing, as some say, right, your sub needs to be way louder proportionately than your highs, you know, because yeah, just in general, because generally in most mixes, if you take a reference track, I think I have like Hive Bounce downloaded, which I guess is reasonable reference track for this. Let me like find it. Bussy. All right, band. I have it somewhere. I'm going to dig it out real quick just so we can demonstrate the process of this reference track. But anyways, the sub is way louder proportionately to the mids. For example, right, your snare fundamental should be hitting about like, so this is at -12 about. Your snare fundamental should be hitting, I would say, like 3 bars below. So it should be hitting here. It sounds fine in the mix and all reasonable and all good, right? But when you have it playing like on a sub, you know, on monitors, like the boy Scary Noises was saying, it's definitely noticeable how the sub is not punching. Okay. So let me get back to finding my Hive Bounce. The Hive Bounce, okay. Let's go. Let's turn off this master. Right. See, in comparison, yours is generally hitting, I would say, like maybe 2 to 3 bars. I'm just using this as like an approximation, or you can say, if you really want to be into it, you can say -18 decibels. The rest of your song, the higher mid highs are hitting like around 18 decibels lower. On this song, they're getting way lower, even to like -36 as compared to -30 decibels. So there's just way more of a difference between the sub and the mid, which is important, you know. So yeah, I don't know what I was gonna say about that, but yeah, always use a reference track, you know. I mean, not always, but I'd highly recommend it. I mean, always. I don't know why I wouldn't recommend it, but yeah. So you can do stuff like this. But of course, there is a lot to mixing that is subjective. But when it comes to the sub, you know, you want your sub slapping. And let's say like at a festival, right? Like if somebody plays your track out, they would have to turn it down if your mids and highs are like that freaking loud as compared to the sub, if they want the sub to hit people in the chest like it should. So I guess the easiest way to fix this, right, would be to group everything for just about that isn't the sub, and I get rid of lead tricks for now. Group everything that isn't the sub and pretty much just turn it down. And in addition to that, you might as well have like some group processing pretty much on your stuff while it's being grouped. Is this another sub?
Yeah, there's 2 subs.
Okay.
There might be 3. I don't know.
Okay. What is the purpose of that? Just for different LFO rates?
It's just yeah, because I was really super lazy and I didn't want to automate LFO rates.
Okay. So, I understand, but unfortunately that makes it slightly more difficult.
I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay. But here I am just grouping everything so we can, because I think like all your sounds are kind of well balanced, you know, like in mids and highs, but not in the overall context of the mix, especially like considering the sub. So we're grouping it all. We're pretty much just going to decrease the decibels more or less. You know, you could go through each individual sound and just do everything, or you can group it all like I'm doing. And it's not beautiful, sorry. Not everything can be beautiful. This isn't Instagram or whatever. Mids. So, and then we'll say, do a group for the sub, and say subs with a Z, because we're stylish, we're swaggin'. And let's just take these effects sound or whatever, and let's just put it on the subgroup, because groups are groups, man. Groups are groups are groups. And for that matter, I'm going to, so let's see if you have any automation on this. You do not. You have a little bit of volume automation. So pretty much just out here trying to match this sub up to the original's wavetable. I think the easiest way to do this would probably be, so I mean this isn't perfect. I would like to be doing this on monitors or a sub so I can actually hear like what is the best harmonics to draw in, but this is what I'll do. So I'm going to copy this wavetable, right click copy, and then just go over to this second patch of vital and hit paste. And now these 2 patches are as one. Right? If you're feeling crazy, you know, another thing, I don't know, this just came to my mind. Add a white noise to your sub if you really want. That's definitely optional. It doesn't do anything for your sub frequencies, obviously, but it's a common trick to make it sound louder, like it's blowing stuff around because it's so dang beefy. Gonna also add a sound fold, because why not? Ultimately though, like I'm just adding the sound fold to increase kind of perceived loudness from my headphones here, but you pretty much want to leave it to your main harmonics to get them just right. You can feel free to add a bit of distortion, but definitely make sure you're on monitors or a sub so you can really hear which things are making it rumble, which isn't. Okay. And really what I'm gonna do is, besides just like adding a compressor to all this, because yeah, I'm overgeneralizing hella, but I'm just gonna decrease the decibels to kind of get this hitting where it should. Oh, but the other thing is I'd also have to mess with the drums, which I will get to. So let's play it from here. That's already hitting much closer than it should be. Another thing I think you could, so just kind of comparing to Leo tricks, you see there's kind of like some fundamentals sticking out big time just in your mix, you know, and this is totally subjective, but maybe so for a more balanced mix per se, you can just fill it in with, I mean, layers, or you can just have like white noise or atmospheric samples like you've had previously. Just pretty much something to fill it in to make it sound more just even, you know, or even.
Yeah.
And I think it's pretty safe to say that, because if in Leo Trick's track, if I mean go back and replace it, but in Leo Trick's track, like high bounce, he has a very like clear harmonic in his bass, right? It's like do 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 do, just that crazy riff, crazy sound design melody. Very strong harmonic in it, but in the mix, it's barely poking out compared to the rest. It definitely is, but you know, but far less than this. Another thing is maybe like multi-band compression, you know, would do that. But hey, that's what we have right here. It's brightening it very nicely, I would say. So another thing is you want this kick hitting at about 6 as well. So what I'm going to do is just see, sometimes it can be tricky to get it to boost up without clipping hella.
That's what I always struggle with.
And the way to do that pretty much would be just lower the volume of everything else, you know. So let's say I'm unable to see. I probably can get it up, you know, you know what I'm saying. But I probably can get it up to a nice volume. But let's say I wasn't able to. So what I would do for this? So go back to our mix, our spectrum here. You see, our sub is hitting at 6, right? But generally for mastering, I would recommend you export your whole track and then process that audio on its own, right? And for that, they say you want headroom. That's what they say, but it's true, because then it's much easier to add more processing to make it brighter and more beautiful without clipping. So this is as loud as I'm able to get the kick reasonably, like to -12. And I want it hitting at pretty much the same as the bass. So all I'm going to do is just take the bass. Let's see, it's hitting at 6. Let's just hit -6 decibels. Right. And we're in business. In fact, a bit louder. No, not a bit louder, actually a bit quieter. I was deceived. Okay. Cool. See, now it's hitting at -12, and we go back to our kick. Our kick is pretty much hitting at -12. Now they punch at about the same caliber. Cool. Solid. I still think that these mids could perhaps be a bit quieter in comparison. So let's unsolo. Okay, unsolo, down a bit more. Also, I think our snare might be a bit too loud now. I'm just hopping all over the place, but hey, this is my workflow. That's just what I do. See, look, like... That's weird. Oh, it's because I had it warped from before. That's the issue. I thought like there was some real black magic going on. But hey, it happens. You see, I definitely want the snare quieter. It sounds fine through my headphones, but like the fundamental, on speakers, it would sound different, you know? It would sound big as fuck. Almost a little too big.
Yeah.
So I pretty much want that hitting at least like 1 or 2 kind of chunks, like 6 or 12 less decibels. Okay. I think that'll about do. Again, it is very subjective, but if you play it on speakers or you're listening to this on speakers, then
Yeah, you can hear it. No, you can hear it.
Yeah. Except now I made it too quiet. Turning up my headphones, it becomes a bit clearer to me. But yeah, it's definitely a little much as it was, but hey, toned it down a bit. Sounds reasonable now, but generally use different references. You know, like on my track, I switch between headphones and speakers a bunch of times. You know, I wasn't going all out and like, all right, let's head out to the car now. Let's play it on my phone. Let's play it on this broken Bluetooth speaker. I mean, you can though, if you're about that. Feel free to.
Oh yeah.
But definitely at least reference on 1 pair of headphones and 1 speaker. At the least.
I'm like you, dude. I go to every single speaker that I own.
Awesome. That's the way to do it.
Huh.
But yeah, but like one way to, as I'm demonstrating, one way to just like universally get it solid is just follow these kind of rules I'm introducing in terms of the spectrum. You know, because the spectrum doesn't lie. Our ears do, and speakers do.
Yeah, I gotta pay more attention to that. I know I use it to reference just like loud, like a track's volume, but I really gotta pay attention.
Right, absolutely.
As far as gain staging and stuff, where to set specific elements so it doesn't clip or muddy your mix.
Yeah, and like surprisingly, like the real problem wasn't the sub. Like the sub was pretty much solid as it was. Of course, like adding those harmonics helped, but just getting the mids and highs lower does a lot because you're able to turn it up louder pretty much without destroying your ears with the mids and highs. See, except proportionally though, so proportionally in this build up, the hats are a little loud, so all I need to do, well, all anyone needs to do is just lower their volume. You know, I do that in different parts. Let's say like even I'm having the snare over here and it just sounds like, all right, let's say I'm doing this, like it just sounds absurdly loud in context to the rest of it. You know, just lower the volume. You know, that's allowed, and in fact it's very good because that adds like some dynamic variation in the track. You know, because if the whole track is full blast all the time, you're missing out on some extra energy. You know, to the point that like classical music or like real instrument music, loudness is such a part that there's like loudness markings, you know, like mezzo piano, mezzo forte, loudness, all that stuff. Okay, wait a minute. I'm reading chat. Track needs more pudge. Yo, Bunting, do you usually mix as you go in the track or do most of the work as the end? I get it sounding reasonable, you know, as I go. Reasonable. By that I mean I like how it sounds, but then I get really scrutinous at the end, and that's when I go about like matching all the levels and stuff. That's more like approaching mastering at that point, you know. But yeah, definitely just get it generally sounding good, because if it sounds good or sounds passable, I'll get more inspiration for how I want to continue the track. But if it sounds not passable, I won't. But yeah, I save the scrutinous, critical thinking, switching references, all that jazz for the very end. So you know the deal. Okay. Awesome. And right here we have more hi-hats. Snare is also funny loud. Okay, another thing, this is more arrangement. I think this build-up would really benefit from having a kick or two in there. Just in general, because like just having sub hits early on the song where you're not quite expecting it to fully hit you, it can just be an awesome tease for the horny bass heads in the audience. And it can add to your hits. Like you have this kind of crazy bass hit, you could just go boom. Can do a lot for the energy,
Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid.
Also, I think it's kind of weird for the drop to come in on a snare hit. You know what I mean? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
It just
I
sounds weird.
usually do it. I did it on accident one time. And I was like, I kind of like that, and so I just stuck with it. I don't know why I did it, but I have it.
I kind of dig it actually, but okay, never mind. It's hitting now. It's probably off guard because it wasn't what I was expecting. Okay, never mind. I actually like it. Maybe a reverse cymbal into that snare. You're right.
Ooh, that's good. Yeah.
Don't be afraid.
Just more kind of.
Don't be afraid.
Or you can go and like go crazy, go stupid with it. Just get a reverse snare into it. Just reverse it. And how about I stretch it out too? Just for some kind of added suckage, slurpage into the next part. Sorry, bro. Just got slurpage on my mind lately. It's the driest humor. Bro, do you hear that? Hear that artifact though? Oh.
You gotta let your ooh.
And definitely you can get a reverse kick in there too. Just like get that little sub, little itty 8-bit of sub. I mean,
I like that snare.
Yeah, shout out my sample. But yeah, I'll be releasing a bunch of samples at 1K, so that's real soon. So, ooh. See now that thing slurps. And also, because he said reverse cymbal, I mean, I'm actually not adding reverse cymbal, but I will add a tiny, like, riser. Yeah, sure. That'll do. I want, like, a little longer. Okay, I like this. Shout out Valentine.
Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid.
Something like that to repeat exactly what I said. And as to like filling up the mix, I think you could definitely have like maybe some white noise type thing. I'm just throwing this here because okay, I hate that white noise. Okay, that's not hitting, but you get the idea. Oh, sidechain.
Yeah,
You're right.
I got you.
Appreciate it. Are there any other just like questions or whatever you have? Because I feel like I'm taking over.
No, dude, that was primarily the sub and the drums, and you went over both of those.
Awesome.
I'm gonna go fix those right now. But yeah, dude, this was genuinely learned a shitload. So thank you.
Yeah, I should probably do like. I'm gonna write that down. Just like do a straight up mixing tutorial on my channel because I'm sure a lot of people would benefit. I mean, that's pretty much what I did today. But
yeah, what was the plugin that you were throwing on
sidechain?
No, not to sidechain for the drum bus. You threw a glue compressor on there.
Yeah,
that and the sub. But which glue compressors were you using?
So 2 presets I really like. First one I like the most is Bass Punch. It's just a super punchy like preset. It doesn't do a whole lot for the sub, honestly. It does a bit, but it's especially useful for drums, you know, because it really helps just get a punchier transient, but without like squashing it as much as drum bus does.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing is like, well, when I was designing this drum here, I use hella of that preset, and if I think of add another, it won't be that good. But for any kind of drums or anything, yeah, Bass Punch. But there's also this drum full parallel, which I also like. But you see, it's pretty much very similar to Bass Punch because they both, yeah, have slow attack and fast release, which make for a punchy compressor. You know, you don't have to know a whole lot about compression to throw on the punch preset. But, you know, like if you're not trying to compress something, make it punchy, like what are you doing, man? Go outside, touch some grass, bro. I don't know. But overall, not sure how much I like this white noise sample, but yeah, it'll take some work. But even without the white noise sample, I mean, it sounds fine to me. That was just me trying to capitalize off my mention of filling it.
I agree with you though. It is missing. It is missing something.
Yeah.
It's
maybe
missing
more
a frequency
atmospheric.
you can hear it. Yeah.
What kind of atmospheric stuff? Or like, for example, like I did on the sub, you might actually want a bit of hiss. Like I was. Kind of goes hard. Also, if you're feeling real quirky. Bit of redux. A bit of reverb, he said. The boy Steady Bob says. I think you do have reverb on these channels, though. Yeah, you do have a bit of it. Your reverb automations are tight, though. Really
Thank you, dude.
that.
That's took. I just started doing that too. I always thought it was so overrated, and I was like, fuck, I'm just gonna do it. And I was like, oh shit, that's not good.
Yeah, maybe I should mess with that. If you hear it in my next song, know you're responsible for this madness.
Right, I will take full credit.
Yeah, I'll shout you out.
Shamelessly.
You get royalties for it. See, I'm not too sure about what you could add in terms of the stuff. So this kind of, in a way, it reminds me of my thing and my tune or whatever. My tune I did. And what I did is, it was just like a high-end, like screechy thing like this, right? But it could use more. But also another thing is, you might want some more like pinpoint EQing. Like so, you know, to make it a little less harsh on the ears. It's actually surprisingly not as bad as it could be.
That's what I did. I was genuinely surprised when I made that noise because I was like, this is gonna sound so terrible. And then I played it with the rest of the song. I was like, actually, it sits decently, and it's not too ear piercing. And I couldn't really find anything that was resonating too bad in it, so I just didn't duck anything.
Definitely just like crank it up to max and scrutinize it until it can't be scrutinized anymore, because you know, scary frequencies are scary and bad. But anyways, what I was gonna do to like fill up this kind of bass, which is what I did in my song. So I'm just duplicating this track and freezing it, and then what I'm gonna do is absolutely crazy. It's the hottest take of 2021 for the rest of the year. In fact, you know, it's only February, but I just settled it. But look, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take this audio sample I froze down and just transpose it. I mean, sounds pretty good to me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh dude, that's a good trick.
That does a lot for it. You know, like, because if it's kind of, if something's not coming to you as to what to layer to it, it fills it up hella. I'm kind of, I don't know, I'm kind of pleasantly surprised, because this is a very similar problem to what I had in my track I released, but this exact thing solved it. Like, it's definitely super apparent when you turn it off.
Yeah. That's genius. That actually might be the biggest heater of 2021.
Yeah. Hottest take.
That's phenomenal. I'm using that from no.
Yeah. Of course, if you have a bass sound, I mean, it's ultimately like what you think is cool. I'm not about to say like, oh, you need bass sounds that fill up more of the spectrum, you know. But if you have a sound that fills up, I mean, you don't though, because you can fix it with this. But ultimately you're making it a bass that fills up more of the spectrum, you know. But I think cool sounds come first, and this is definitely a cool ass sound, you know. But like in terms of the sound design, I don't know if there's a way you can replicate the sound in Vital or in whatever synth you're using to make it a fuller body, you know. I mean, or you have the mids, you have the mids in it, right? But the mids definitely do not match the character of the high end, which is what we want. But
and that's another thing that I really struggle with too, is like I'll spend an hour on a sound and then push it back through a mix, and then it is so hollow that I'll try to go fill it out more, and I'll lose the whole sound completely. So
right, for sure.
What you just did solved a lot of my problems.
Hell yeah. I'm honestly surprised with how much I was able to pull out of this track, because when I heard it in Discord, like, I thought it was some heat, and it is. Like, this has hella potential, which is being realized as we speak. Same here. Steady Bob says in chat. But yeah, that's a cool trick. Let me see if there's anything else I can kind of scrutinize before wrapping it up here.
Yeah, dude, I just appreciate you having this on.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm happy to help a man's out. Split the first part of the drop, do the high, then the low, second one, combine them. I was thinking of that, but I don't know. You could mess with that, but at the same time, you might want the bass to be a little more full spectrum. Another thing is, if you want, you can, to spice it up even more, you can sound design your process layer, you know. So you can pretty much just layer with the same sound, just process different.
Oh, saucy.
So look, we have one that's noise. I'm enjoying this now. I mean, I was always enjoying it, but you know what I mean. Now it's got a crunchy, noisy layer along with the sub. We're just destroying this track. Like got the sub screeching
100% okay with that.
Okay, now just vocoder, modulator, always vocoder. Vocoder. Yeah, keep only the high one and the fake out. When the drums come in, play the high and low. Yeah, that is an ID and a half. So let's see. And you know, you can change the pitch. Yeah, just really filling it out. I'm very pleased with this. You might want to cut that tail though, because it's kind of crunchy. But you get the idea. Yeah, that's the sauce. And
that is.
But you would just lather, rinse, and repeat for the rest of the sounds that sound thin, you know. But layering can be difficult with just like synthesizer sound design. But bouncing the audio and just processing the same sound in a variety of different ways, it's easy and it's fun, you know. Using the same sound, just easy to make it a little bit different as opposed to, you know.
Oh, genius, dude.
Also, since while we're here and I still have ideas flowing, you can just change the sound design a bit, but it could be hard. Probably will be hard. How about I just except now my CPU's dying. that sounds great too, I think.
Oh, that does sound good.
You know, I think designing it from scratch, unless you already have a sound in mind that you want to go for, it can be very difficult to get a nice layer. But, you know, it can be as simple as, well, I just turned off the effects for the sake of my CPU. But, hey, it worked. But the real change came from me just changing this wavetable position. You can also maybe change the FM. You get the idea. My CPU obviously doesn't. But yeah, that's the sauce right there.
Oh, dude, your poor CPU.
Okay, and that's about all I can say. So, you know, you got your mix, you got your master. I would recommend for your mix. I mean, I think it's honestly kind of fine how it is. But definitely, I mean, as a rule of thumb, not as a rule of thumb. Okay, let me gather my words. Basically, you want your sub hitting around 6 decibels and your rest of your song pretty much hitting at least 3 bars per se. At least like maybe 18 bars below that, more or less, as a rule of thumb. And you should pretty much just try to have your try to have some headroom in your mix, you know, because it might be hard to get all the sounds hitting at the same place if they just aren't naturally loud, because boosting them could allow clipping. But what you do for that is pretty much bounce out, export your whole track when you're done, have it peaking at minus 18, minus 12, minus whatever you choose. And then in your mastering, you'll be able to carefully like compress and limit it up to minus 6 where your sub hits. Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense.
But yeah, this will all be recorded and I'll send you the project file. And yeah, that's all I can think of. Thanks for being on the show. This is going to be a TV show now. We're getting on, I don't know, there's going to be a music producers network and I'm going to start it. But anyways, yeah, I think I'm about to wrap it up here. Thanks everyone in the chat for tuning in. You know the deal. If you want to be on Masterclass Monday, join the Discord and just say hi in the Masterclass channel. Yeah, and I'll randomly select people from there. If you want a private lesson from me, and that's guaranteed, not just random, then email me and we could talk about that schedule and all that. Just join the Discord in general. It's lit. It's hella lit. We get in the voice chat sometimes.
Discord is litty.
Liddy as a titty, as they say, I think. No, I don't even like
For
that
sure.
phrase. I don't like it. Don't know why I said it. But also check out my song. The link is in the description. Just released it. My first tune. If you haven't,
It's sick.
it's sick. He said it, and
It's fucking sick.
he makes 6 tunes, so you have to take his word for it too. But yeah, that was that. I'm gonna end the stream now. Thanks everyone for tuning in, and peace out. This was Bunting.